Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the Tiger E. Not the Japanese heavy tank number 6, this is the true German version. And I think the Tiger E is, in my opinion, due to some limitations of the Tiger H1, simply so much better in overall handling when it counts. Today we have a battle on Poland, and these are the fields of Poland, or what do you call them? Now there is one thing that really annoyed me, and that was that my keyboard was malfunctioning a little bit, so I couldn't press tab and show you the leaderboards, because it would have been kind of interesting. So as you can see, there are quite a few tanks diverted all over the map, and there are in this lineup a lot of Hellcats. I spared you the first few minutes driving from the spawn location up until here, and we are against the Russians. And I'm doing something that the Tiger in particular was not very well suited for. And that is, I go into the city combat, because I immediately see that our team is very good, or I believe that they're very good to be about to cap A. And I want to be the one to attack the enemy when they go for B, and I want to prevent them from capturing B. Spoiler alert, I fail. But it's the way how I fail that is a bit mildly amusing. Spoiler alert. And there you could see that was, when the keyboard was still functioning. I made this video right after, or a few hours after, I made the Gepard video. So I practically have the very same lineup. But for this open map, I thought that the limitations in top speed on the Gepard are not really that great to make it in, or to make out of it a good troll video, or to have the chances for a troll match, or to be really useful for my team. Some people call me crazy when I call the Tiger a better medium tank than the Panther, and the Panther a better heavy tank than the Tiger. The reload on the guns is exactly the same, and that is a bit astonishing. Of course, the Panther 75mm in terms of muzzle velocity and trajectory and penetration is superior to the short 88. And this is where I got shot in the back, and I don't know from where, so I'm just here sitting around and observing the area, and this T-34-85 was completely blind, and I got shot from behind. What do? I accelerate, turn around, turn the turret, and angle myself perfectly, got a shot into him. It just hits the tracks. I'm quite sure I pulled the trigger at that time when I was shooting at the middle of the plate, but maybe a bit of ping, I don't know, or it was just my imagination. So I see this guy crossing, I aim between the buildings, and money! So, double strike just like that. The T-34 was particularly unlucky here, as he actually hit my ammunition rack and made it black. So this is one of the very few times where my ammunition rack in a German tank goes black and does not detonate. How does it feel? Well, it kind of feels alive. Yeah. After this engagement, I was kind of really in a good mood for this match in particular, and I see that B is being captured or contested by the enemy. There is nobody. You always have to turn your turret with any kind of tank to increase your chances of making the good shots. One thing that the Tiger is not very famous for is firing on the move. However, sometimes, from time to time, it works. And you might be really wondering, or some of you, that I one-shot all those Russian tanks. That's down to me using not the Panzergranate 39, which is bad, but the rather lower penetration one, the Panzergranate. So I think the term Panzergranate is a bit confusing, as it is actually a Panzersprengranate. I'm not sure if this is an official term, but the Russians will kind of agree to it as this good example of a T-34-85. Hell, are the German players all just playing Russians today? Okay, that was a really bad one. So it's like on a shooting gallery. I think it will name the game like that. So later on we will see a bit more of that. So where should I go right now? This is a decision-making point. Is there somebody on my heels? Has somebody spotted me like I spotted this T-34-85 previously? Was I just very lucky, or was there some sort of sixth sense tingling? And if there is a sixth sense tingling, am I really directly reacting to it, or is it like directly sixth sense being, active and me automatically doing the actions? I'm not quite sure. I've played thousands upon thousands of arcade realistic air and arcade and realistic tank battles, so I know War Thunder to a certain degree. I know where it's very likely that people will appear or enemy tanks will appear, and what I have to do: pre-aiming, laying an ambush, listening to the surrounding. It all comes together. It's no dark magic. However, for some people, it feels like it. Knowing your map, reading the minimap in particular, is very important. And so I just plow through the middle of the map. Now, one thing that is very important right now is to keep in mind that when the enemy team captures certain points, new spawn points appear. Obviously, they are there to make the appearance of the battle feeling not so long, and cutting the driving time a bit out, or cutting it shorter, not unnecessarily long. So I'm looking here around the corner carefully. The enemies might go back, and there is an IS-2, and I dunked the shot in the wall. Now the question is, what is this IS-2 doing? He must have heard me. He must have seen me shooting, or was he really tunnel visioning? Well, I look around the corner carefully, and I just see him disappearing around the corner to the right. And now watch this. It's like Russian magic, isn't it? He comes around that, he goes... What the hell? Okay, that one is taken out. The beautiful 160 grams of TNT equivalent are doing their job. And now, decision timing. I'm not making my dices roll with a turret shot. I am disabling him, so the turret rotation speed is not challenging my reload speed, and the side shot on the turret is much safer against an IS-2 as a rear shot, as I have experienced in the past so often that for some bizarre reason the shots are not going through. Not just on the Panzergranate, but also the Panzergranate 39, which previously made up most of my experiences with the Tiger. And I cannot stress out how important it is that the Tiger finally got a shell that is more on par with the Russian 85mm in overall performance, which I love, because I love the Russian 85mm gun. Now that's not implying any sort of bias here, but if you pull the trigger and you kill everything in one shot, then that is much safer than to having to invest maybe 2 or 3 shots to put somebody down with 108 grams of TNT equivalent. Now you might think that that doesn't make a big difference, but it makes. I think there is a certain threshold, around about 150 grams of TNT equivalent, that then also lets the ammo racks detonate much more efficiently, or safer in a way. Safe ammo rack detonation. That one was good. Okay, that's a meme. I'm sorry. Yeah. So those were my 6 shots, and from this, from this moment on, we actually have it in the bag. Now I can see a lot of our team members are still alive and are charging for A. And I I know that in the Tiger, I am not fast enough to keep up with Hellcats or other tanks that are not just faster with a better horsepower to ton ratio, but also have a distance advantage and also are already outside of the city. So what I'm doing here is putting myself between the enemy's spawn zone or spawn points and the capturing of A. Now at this moment it's very well visualized on the minimap, but this has been the case for since the beginning of the engagements. Now I think the crucial part of this battle was me surviving that shot or the engagement with the first T-34 and him being exceptionally unlucky with that ammo rack detonation, and also that he must have fired APCR or some nonsense. I'm not quite sure if that's even available on that modification of the T-34-85. However, the pure fact that he blackened out the ammo rack that then disappeared because I still used that ammunition where a shell went through, very interesting and very realistic of course, then it disappeared, so now I don't have a black ammo rack anymore. And when I would refill it on in a capture zone, I would regain white ammunition, or fully functional, not damaged ammunition. So I take a minimum load of shells compared to what the Tiger could carry, and this is very important with German tanks, that when you get penetrated you minimize the chance of ammo rack detonations, and I think to a certain degree it worked. Maybe the APCR, if he used such a shell, could have gone through the other side of the tank and hit another ammo rack, and there we go, I actually gained the survivor medal. The medal that I am really looking forward in any kind of tank. I think it just shows that you did well in the battle. So the post-battle results: 44,000 silver lines and 3,600 research points, giving me a new camouflage, all sorts of good awards, and actually finished the respading process on the Tiger E. To be honest, I think that was the first match that I had with this tank in a very long time. Maybe the second, I'm not quite sure. Second team with 1,740 score points. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of situational awareness and being at the right place at the right time. And as usual, give this video for Seal Clubbing Russians a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and as usual, we will see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.